Welcome back to my kitchen, and today we are going to be making meatballs in a creamy Italian cheese and herb sauce. And to start out, we're going to go ahead and get started on our meatballs right away here. So I have my food processor, and instead of using breadcrumbs in my meatballs, I like to use stuffing mix. So I have a box of just savory herb stuffing. We're making chicken meatballs today, so you could use chicken stuffing, you could use the sage stuffing. Any of those would go well in here. I'm just going to go ahead and dump that in there, just like that. Set that aside. Now, for the recipe that I'm using, you don't need to use the entire box of stuffing mix, especially once it's pulverized. But what we're going to do is we're going to pulse this into fine breadcrumbs, and then I'm going to measure out a certain amount and put it into my meatballs, and then I'll just keep the rest in a zip-top bag or an airtight container in my cupboard, and it'll be perfect for when I want to make meatballs again. Or you can double or triple the recipe and just then go ahead and use the entire box of stuffing mix, and then you have enough meatballs for several other dishes, which I will talk about in just a minute or two. These meatballs go fantastic in this sauce and even better in several different recipes, so I'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay, it's that simple. We have fine breadcrumbs now, and I'm going to go ahead and get these out of the food processor and into a measuring cup, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're going to go ahead and make our chicken meatballs now. I have a pound and a half, almost 2 pounds of ground chicken breast. I have just 100% chicken breast in here. You can use dark and light meat, but I prefer, we have some picky eaters and they prefer just the chicken breast. So, I've got that. Then I'm going to add about 2/3 of a cup of the stuffing mix that I ground up previously. I'm going to dump that right in there. Single egg. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of the Philadelphia cooking cream, the Italian cheese and herb. This stuff is awesome. It's got Parmesan in it, Romano in it, herbs in it. So good. Absolutely fantastic. And I'll give it a little bit of a stir here. It's all nice and creamy, soft. I don't know if you can see that. It's almost pourable. We're going to add 4 tablespoons there, and then we're going to save the rest for our sauce. This will make our sauce just creamy and to die for good. Here, and then we're just going to go ahead and get these chicken meatballs all mixed up. That it's going to look a little soft at first, but that stuffing mix will soak up all of the creaminess from the cream cheese and the egg and some of the juices from the chicken. So get that all mixed up. If you have to, you can get your hands in there. I do that quite frequently, but it looks like this one's going to come together pretty good. Then, to cook our meatballs, I actually like to bake my meatballs. To me, it feels like it takes less time. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes in the oven. I have my oven set at 400, so it'll take about 20 minutes for the size that I'm going to make, maybe a little bit less. I don't like to stand over the hot stove and turn on my meatballs, so I just go ahead and bake them. And I have a cookie sheet here that I have sprayed with nonstick cooking spray, just to make sure that the chicken meatballs don't stick. Beef meatballs don't usually stick because they have more fat in them. But these meatballs, because of the fact that I'm using just 100% chicken breast, they don't have a lot of fat in them. So what I'm going to do here is I have just like a little melon ball or mini ice cream scoop kind of thing, and that's what I use to make my meatballs. Helps me keep them all nice and uniform. Just roll them around a little bit and stick them on tray. And your hands will get dirty with this, but that's okay, that's part of the fun. Alright, and I will be right back. Okay, as you can see, I've just pulled my meatballs right out of the oven, and they're nicely browned on pretty much all sides there. And they're done. They were in the oven about 20 minutes. Now I'm going to get them transferred into my saucepan to make the sauce. And I've got some boiling salted water here. I'm going to put just some egg noodles in there, and we'll get those going, and then we'll put our meal together here in just a minute. Okay, for the sauce for our meatballs, we're just going to go ahead and add about a half a cup of chicken broth to our pan. And we're going to add the rest of our tub of Philadelphia Italian cheese and herb cooking cream. Again, this cooking cream is nice and pretty much pourable, as you can see here. It's got Romano cheese and Parmesan cheese, herbs, garlic, onions, everything in it. You really don't need much else to make an absolutely fantastic sauce. If you wanted to make a deluxe edition of this pasta, you could take some onions and red bell peppers and grape tomatoes, toss them with olive oil, salt, and pepper, and roast them in the oven on just a flat cookie sheet at the same time that you're cooking your meatballs for the same amount of time. And then you would just toss them right in there with this sauce. I'm just going to stir this around till it's all nice and creamy and incorporated. And then we're going to drain our noodles and top our noodles with our creamy coated meatballs. And I will show you the finished product in just a minute. Okay, we're all done. You can see I have the basic recipe for the creamy meatballs over noodles, and it's that simple. Now, there are other ways you can serve this. If you would like, you can take these same meatballs in the same cream sauce, put it on a toasted bun with some roasted red peppers and provolone cheese, and melt that cheese in the oven, and you have a great creamy Italian meatball hero. You can also just take the meatballs, the Italian cream, and some chicken broth, stir it all together in a crock pot, and heat it up, and you have an absolutely fantastic appetizer. I hope you enjoy this recipe as much as I do.